Hello, my dear little friends. I'm Rania, and I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to Rania's Little Bedtime Stories, where every story is filled with kindness, friendship, courage, and little lessons that help our hearts grow. So, snuggle up, get nice and cozy, take a deep breath, and let's begin our bedtime adventure together.
Rania had a small glass jar on her study table. It wasn't very big, but it had a colorful label that read Dreams Inside. Every week, Abba gave her 5 ringgit for pocket money. Rania used to spend it all at the school canteen on Karapak, sweets, and stickers. But one day she saw a beautiful book at the store, a bilingual storybook with animals and Islamic values. I want that, Rania told Ibu. Then let's save up for it, Ibu smiled. If you save 3 ringgit every week, you'll have enough in just 1 month. So Rania started saving. Each week, she placed 3 ringgit in the jar and used only 2 ringgit for school snacks. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes she really wanted an ice cream, but she kept her goal in mind. To stay motivated, she drew a little picture of the book and taped it to the jar. Week by week, the coins grew into notes. Finally, after 4 weeks, Rania opened the jar and counted 12 ringgit. Enough for the book. She handed it to the shopkeeper proudly. I saved this myself. That night, Abba said, saving money teaches patience, discipline, and gratitude more than any toy can. Rania hugged her book tight. It's not just a storybook. It's my reward for being strong. She had learned something valuable. Every ringgit saved is a step closer to a dream.
That was a lovely story. Every little act of kindness makes the world a happier place. Now, let's see what our next adventure has in store for us. It was a Saturday morning when the clouds stretched like sleepy cats across the sky, and the earth smelled like stories waiting to be told. Risky stood in the schoolyard, holding a tiny tree seedling, with roots like spaghetti and leaves like small, hopeful hands. Are you sure it'll grow? Danish asked, his voice full of wonder and a little doubt. It will, Risky nodded, but only if we're gentle and patient. He dug a small hole beside the fence where the sun visited often. Not too deep, not too shallow, just right, like in one of those old fairy tales where good things happen slowly. He placed the tree in the hole, like tucking in a baby bird, covered it with soil, and gave it a sip of water from his recycled bottle. There, he said, patting the earth softly. Home. Zara walked by and teased. It's so small. It'll take forever. Risky smiled. Forever starts today. That evening, Ibu smiled as he told the story. You didn't just plant a tree, Sayang. You planted shade, shelter, and stories for someone else. And in Risky's world, even a little hole in the ground could be the beginning of something tall and kind. I hope you're enjoying our stories. Sometimes the smallest actions can make the biggest difference. Let's listen to another wonderful story together. Rania's class was having a storytelling competition. Her shy friend Ina was chosen to represent the class. When she found out, Ina looked nervous. I don't think I can do it, she whispered. What if I forget my lines? What if people laugh at me? Rania held her hand and said, Ina, you've got a beautiful voice and a great story. You just need a little practice, and I'll help you." Every day after school, Rania listened to Ina rehearse. She clapped after each try, corrected little slips, and reminded her, "You're getting better every time." On the day of the competition, Ina stood on stage, her hands slightly shaking. From the audience, Rania smiled wide and gave her 2 thumbs up. Ina took a deep breath and began. Her voice grew steadier, her eyes brighter. When she finished, the hall filled with applause. She didn't win first place, but her teacher said, "You were the bravest one out there." Later, Ina ran to Rania. "I couldn't have done it without you." Rania hugged her. "You did it all by yourself. I just reminded you what was already inside." That night, Ibu said, "Encouraging others is like lighting a candle. Your flame doesn't get smaller, but the world becomes brighter." And Rania realized sometimes the kindest thing you can do is believe in someone until they believe in themselves. You're such an amazing listener. Are you ready for another adventure? Let's keep going. In a small, quiet house where the books leaned slightly and the floor creaked kindly under your toes lived a boy named Grizky, who was friends with many things, including the light switch in the hallway. It would say every morning as Risky walked past, and every night it waited patiently to be turned off. One evening, after brushing his teeth and putting his socks in the laundry, with only a little help from Ibu, Risky noticed something odd. The bathroom light was still on, humming softly like a tired bee. "Oh dear," he said, blinking, "you must be sleepy too." So he tiptoed back and gently turned it off. "Thank you," whispered the quiet. And then there was the kitchen tap, dripping a single drop every few seconds, like it couldn't decide whether to sleep or think. Risky twisted it snug and whispered, "You've worked hard today." Zara watched him and asked, "Why do you talk to switches and taps?" "Because they've done their job," Risky said simply, "and I should do mine." For in Risky's world, even little things deserved rest, and saving water and light was not just smart, it was kind. Wow, we've already heard 4 beautiful stories together. I wonder what we'll learn in this next one. Let's find out. After school, Rania rushed home, excited to tell Abba about the certificate she received for good behavior. She ran upstairs to his study room, holding the paper in her hand. Just as she reached for the doorknob, she paused. She remembered something Tokibu once told her. Even if it's your own house, always knock before entering. It shows respect and protects others' privacy. So Rania gently knocked 3 times. Inside, she heard Abba say, "Yes, who is it?" "It's me, Rania." "Come in, sayang." She opened the door slowly. Abba was just finishing his Zoom meeting. He turned to her and smiled. "Good timing. Thank you for knocking first." Rania beamed and held up her certificate. "I wanted to show you this." Abba took it and grinned proudly. "Excellent work. And you know what else I'm proud of? The way you remembered to knock." Later that evening, Ibu added, "Knocking isn't just about being polite. It shows that we honor the space and feelings of others." Rania nodded thoughtfully. Even doors deserve a little respect. From that day on, whether it was Tokibu's room, her brother's, or even Ibu's kitchen when the door was closed, she always knocked first. And every time, it made the people inside smile. You're doing a wonderful job listening. I hope these stories are making your heart smile. Let's enjoy another special adventure together. It was project week at school, and Cikgu Aisha grouped Rania with three classmates, Zara, Damish, and Amir. Their task? To make a creative poster about healthy living. Everyone was excited, but no one knew where to start. I want to draw, said Amir. I'll write the slogans, said Zara. Damish shrugged. I'll do whatever's left. They all spoke at once. Papers were scattered, and no one was really listening. Rania took a deep breath and said, Guys, let's pause. The others looked at her. Let's make a plan, she said. We only have 3 days. If we don't work together, we'll waste time. She pulled out a notebook and drew 3 boxes. Day 1, ideas and planning. Day 2, drawing and writing. Day 3, final touches and practice. Let's divide roles. Amir, since you love drawing, do the poster art. Zara, you write the catchy phrases. Damish and I will find facts and decorate the border. Everyone nodded. With clear tasks and teamwork, the poster came together beautifully. On presentation day, their group was calm, confident, and ready. Afterward, Cikgu Aisha smiled. Great teamwork! And Rania, excellent leadership. A true leader brings people together, not just gives orders. That night, Rania told Abba, planning made everything smoother. Abba replied, when you organize a team, you're not just finishing a project, you're helping everyone succeed. And Rania knew good ideas shine brighter when shared, guided, and respected. You're such a great listener. I hope you're enjoying our stories. Here's another one. It was Monday afternoon, and Rania had just returned from school. She placed her bag down and looked longingly at her storybook on the shelf. I'll read later, she told herself. Let me finish my homework first. She opened her homework book. There were 3 tasks: math questions, a short essay, and some science notes to review. Rania, it would be easier to play first and do this later. But then she remembered what her teacher, Cikgu Ain, always said. Discipline today, success tomorrow. So she set a timer and started with the hardest subject first, math. Slowly, she worked through the problems, checking each answer carefully. Then she wrote her essay and reviewed her science. Just as she finished, Ibu called. Rania, do you want to follow me to the shop? Rania jumped up. Yes, my homework is all done. Later that night, while her brother struggled to finish his homework at the last minute, Rania was already reading her favorite book with a calm heart. The next day, Cikgu Ain collected the homework. Rania's was neat, complete, and on time. Excellent work, Rania, Cikgu Ain said. You've shown true responsibility. At home, Ibu gave her a proud smile. When you do your duties first, the fun feels better after. Rania grinned. She had learned that finishing homework on time wasn't just about school. It was about honoring her own promise to do her best. Every story teaches us something beautiful. Let's discover today's next little lesson together. It was a hot Saturday morning, and Rania was walking home from Quran class when she passed by the surau. She saw a group of uncles and aunties sweeping, washing, and arranging chairs for the weekend gotong royong. She stood at the gate, watching. Nobody had asked her to help. She could have easily walked away. It wasn't her job. It wasn't her mess. But something in her heart. Just ask if they need a hand. So she stepped forward and said to the machi near the steps, Auntie, do you need help carrying those pails? The woman's eyes lit up. Oh, thank you, dear. You're so thoughtful. Rania spent the next hour helping wipe windows, stack slippers neatly at the entrance, and even serve cold drinks to the other volunteers. Later, the Imam of the Surau came over and said, You weren't called, yet you came. That's called ikhlas, sincere action from the heart. That evening, Rania told Ibu about her unexpected morning. Ibu, volunteering means giving before anyone asks. Allah sees even the smallest help given with good intentions. The next time there was a community event, Rania didn't wait to be invited. She just showed up with a willing heart and busy hands. Because now she knew real kindness is helping, even when it's not your duty, simply because it's the right thing to do. We've almost reached the end of tonight's adventures, but there's still another wonderful story waiting for us. Let's continue! One rainy afternoon, Rania sat by the window with her coloring book. She turned to a new page, a tall, smiling giraffe standing under an acacia tree. I'm going to make this my best one yet, she said, choosing the yellow pencil. She colored carefully, starting with the giraffe's neck, then its spots, then the green leaves above. But halfway through, she got distracted. Her little brother wanted to play. Then she remembered a cartoon she liked. Then she felt a little sleepy. By the time Ibu called for dinner, the giraffe was still half colored, its legs and tail left empty. After dinner, Rania looked at her coloring book again and, I'll finish it tomorrow. Ibu sat beside her. Rania, do you know what makes someone dependable? Rania shook her head. Finishing what you start, Ibu said. It shows commitment, focus, and respect, even to small things like giraffes in coloring books. So Rania picked up her pencils again. Bit by bit, she completed the rest of the picture. When she added the final touch, a pink bow on the giraffe's tail, she smiled wide. I did it, she cheered. The next day at school, Teacher Stella announced a class project. Each of you will start something today and finish it by the end of the week. Rania grinned confidently. She was ready because now she knew starting is easy, but finishing is what makes it truly yours. Can you believe it? We have one last bedtime story before we say goodnight. Let's make this final adventure extra special. One evening, as the azan for Maghrib floated softly through the air, Risky sat with his family at the dinner table. There was rice, ikan goreng, and sayur, the kind of simple meal that made you feel hugged from the inside. As Danish picked at his plate and pushed the rice to the side, Risky leaned closer. Do you know, he said, voice soft as a secret, each grain of rice has a journey? Danish blinked. A journey? Risky nodded. It grew in the sun, drank rain, waded through storms, then it was picked, packed, cooked, all just to reach your plate. Danish looked at his spoon differently. I'm full, he said, but I'll save the rest for later. Good, said Risky, because throwing food is like saying all that effort didn't matter. That night, as the stars blinked awake, Risky placed leftovers into a container, covered them like a bedtime story, and whispered, Rest well, rice, you'll be eaten tomorrow. In Risky's world, even a single grain was precious, and to waste food was to forget that blessings often come quietly, spoon by spoon. Thank you for spending this special time with me. I hope today's stories made you smile, filled your heart with kindness, and inspired you to do something wonderful tomorrow. Remember, even the smallest act of kindness can make someone's day brighter. Sleep well, sweet dreams, and I'll see you again for another bedtime adventure. Good night, my dear little friends.